Been the administrative judge for 6 years, since January of 2020, and my colleagues elected me in October of 2019. Different world, different time. I will tell you, when I took over for Judge Russo and I, we talked, we had plans, we had things go in the right direction, and then in March of 2020, the world turned upside down. Um, I'll never forget sitting at this chair here where I'm at and meeting Dr. Bruner. And she said to me, Brendan, if we don't get this jail cleared out, we're going to have a catastrophe here in Cuyahoga County, because it's not when COVID hit. It's not if COVID hits, it's when will COVID hit. And I'll never forget that March meeting with the judges. I was planning my St. Patrick's Day celebration with the judges, and I quickly told them the world is going to be upside down, and we are going to have to abandon trials and start focusing on the jail. And compliments to my colleagues and the judges, because they rallied, and everybody, the whole court staff rallied, and we were able to, I mean, amazingly clear that jail, lower the jail numbers to a safe number, and protect our community and keep the justice system moving during that time. It was an interesting time for me, because I'll tell you, one of the funny parts of the story was, here we are doing this, and I get calls from all around the state from other administrative judges saying, what are you guys doing in Cuyahoga County? And I tell them we canceled jury, we're getting ready, we're preparing, we're worried about the jail population. And they looked at me kind of crazy. I got a call from the Supreme Court saying, what are you doing? Then all of a sudden, President Trump at the time got on the news and said, we have a pandemic, fly everyone back home. I remember my daughter was in Europe, we had to bring her back home. And still people are calling me saying, what are you doing? But when the NBA canceled their season, at that point I get a call from everyone saying, what did you know? How did Cuyahoga County know this? So it was an amazing time, and I can tell you, when I started, it's kind of funny, I really had dark hair, and that was a big joke. Judge Russo and I laughed. When he started, he had hair, and when he finished, he didn't have any hair. Here I am, I started when I had dark hair, and now I've got all this gray hair. But that started me off in 2020, and it really changed the direction in March of 2020 in my administration as administrative judge.
With that in mind, what has it meant to you to hold this position?
Ah, it's an honor, because it's respect from your colleagues and your fellow judges. But it really, when you look at the court, we have over 500 employees. And when I started, I went to every group and every part of the court, and I talked to the groups. And I said, we're a family. And it goes back to my history in this court. And I have always felt that I've treated our employees, our department heads, everyone from the new hire all the way to the guy who's been here 40 years, that they're part of the family, and they're our family. And so when you sit here at this position and you are the administrative judge, I feel like I'm leading a family of friends and relatives, and it's been just a great honor. I think back to Judge Leo Spelsey, Judge Gorman, Judge Sweeney, Judge McMonigal, Judge Nancy McDonald, Judge Nancy First, and Judge Russo. I mean, and I think of their leadership and what they had to deal with. And before I took the job, I knew what an honor it was, and I had the pleasure of sitting back and going to lunch with Judge Leo Spelsey. And Judge Leo Spelsey met me at a restaurant. I sat down with him, and I said, you were the longest serving administrative judge in Cuyahoga County. How did you do it? What were you thinking? He said, Brennan, your job as administrative judge is to make your colleagues' job easier, make the workers' job easier, to make sure that everyone is on the same page. And that's kind of how I took my role as administrative judge.
What was the biggest challenge for you in the last 6 years?
Wow. You know, obviously COVID, you can't ignore COVID, but that's a huge challenge because that directed everything how we operated. Then we had, during my administration, we had the civil unrest, we had riots, we had the riots after George Floyd, we had our courthouse attacked, we had National Guard and barricades built around the courthouse. And you had to ensure our employees that they're safe. You have to ensure the public that the justice system is strong and we can keep moving forward. Those were times, I think that was the most challenging time. How to keep the justice system, to tell people it's fair. We give everyone a fair, honest shot in these buildings. Everyone works hard in this system of justice, and it was questioned at that time, and that was a tough time in this administration.
What are you most proud of?
I want to make sure that people's pay was commensurate with what they did and how they were working in this building. I was happy that I was able to continue in my tenure to help raise the pay for everyone's positions. But really, besides the economic part of the job, I'm proud of the fact that I was able to remember our history in this court. If you go down to the first floor and you look at the administrative judge wall, the Leo Spelsey wall, and you look at all the administrative judges and what they did in that time and what was going on in the history, I mean, that was just a part of the history of this court. And then you'll see on the fourth floor the history of our courthouses and what we went through and how the courts and the types of cases and how we've adapted to what was going on in society at that time. There's so many things to be proud of in this job, and there's not one specific thing I could put my finger on, but I love the history. I love the renovations we've done in this courthouse. When you think about it, when I started, we had orange, green, yellow, and blue courtrooms, and they were A, B, C, D courtrooms. And when COVID hit, the first thing I said when I started is we're going to modernize these courtrooms. We're going to change the way these courtrooms look. And we've done it. We're starting to do that. And that's a huge thing for the lawyers, for the litigants, for the judges. I mean, we now have benches in our courtrooms that actually are nice. They're not these orange little chairs, and they're comfortable. We've got new juror seats that jurors can sit in comfort. We've got technology in the courtroom that, I mean, no offense, we didn't have that 6 years ago. We didn't have Zoom pads. We didn't have Elmo. If anyone brought technology, it was outside bringing it into the courtroom. But now we have it here. And that's a huge thing for lawyers and litigants and jurors. And then one of the things that I'm most proud of at the end now is we finally finished that jury room. And that jury room hadn't been updated since 1990. And I'm sitting there, went down there last week and looked at it, and it is amazing. And when you think about it, this wasn't done by me. It's the hard work of everyone, our administrators, Greg Popovich, Andrew Canast, Darren Toms, the folks that take time out of their lives, that take pride in their work and the trades, and make sure it gets done right.
Other than the dark hair, what are you going to miss the most?
I think as a judge, I'm going to miss probably knowing everything going on in this building. That's the thing as administrative judge. People think you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's happening. And unfortunately, you know everything, everything that's going on. I'll miss that, but I also am going to be excited about having my own trials again and my own cases and getting back to the swing of being involved in my own cases. Um, but I'll miss the people. I'll miss the helping people. I'll miss the ability to pick up a phone and say, hey, um, this person has an issue. Can we help them? Can we do something to help our employee? But I'm not weary of that because I know the guy coming behind me, Mike Shaughnessy, is going to do a great job, and he's going to be able to help people out. So I'm happy.
We talk about you being the administrative judge and presiding judge. I'm not sure everybody understands that they are two different things. Can you bring us up to date on that?
Yeah, each court has an administrative judge. The probate court, the domestic relations court, the juvenile court, and the general division common pleas court has an administrative judge. And what happens is that the administrative judge each runs their courts. The presiding judge oversees all 4 divisions. I started a conference call with all our administrative judges every week. I mean, it was pick up a phone, put them on a conference call, and we sat down and we talked about things. Because when we're all together making decisions, good things happen. When the courts are separate, when one court is doing something different than another court, then it causes a break and a chink in the armor, if you will. And one of the things I'm most proud of is that I brought these courts together and we communicate. And the big thing is communication. And another thing that I did as administrative judge was also once a week bring all the stakeholders, everyone, from the prosecutor, the public defender, Cleveland Muni courts, housing courts, the sheriff's department, the executives, the old courthouse, the court of appeals, the probate. We bring everyone together, all the courts, all the stakeholders together, and we have a meeting once a week. Even if it's for 5 minutes, we touch base. And why is that important? Well, it was important during COVID, so everyone has the same message of what's happening. But it also taught me that this is a group that when things go wrong, when there's riots in the streets of Cleveland, when there's a fire, when there's an electricity outage, when there's an air conditioning outage, when there's a jail issue, when there's a problem in any one of these courts or any one of the, we're together quickly and we can put that call together in 2 minutes. As I leave this position today, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all the employees who really do the hard work, the lifting, to make this court great. And I can tell you, when I go down to Columbus, I go across the state, I go to the different states talking about Cuyahoga County, I will tell you, this is the best court in the state of Ohio and one of the best courts in the nation. And how we operate, how we do justice, and how everyone plays a vital role. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for giving me this opportunity to serve.
Judge Brendan Sheehan, thank you very much.
Thanks, Darren.